I heard you got to. Nice work, Baker.
You gotta be a lunatic if you're gonna be a vulture.
Let's see what you guys think of this next mission. 3 days ago, I lost my Green Berets. We're gonna drop you in right here, in that valley.
We got our job. Find those Green Berets.
One female Russian survivor. They're still out there. Just take to the perimeter. For bird. Since we insert, we've been attacked by all kinds of prehistoric beasts. We need an emergency extract from the zoo.
And that's not an option! My mission is to get my men home, not fight dinosaurs. I'm gonna go find them, dead or alive.
We won't survive an hour. Your mission died.
Better get fueled up and get ready.
We're doing what you want. We're probably all gonna die screaming because of it. We talk about that screaming and dying bit.
Well, first of all, congratulations on this project. I don't know if you've been following the internet and social media, but this movie has a lot of buzz right now.
It does. I'm, the team behind it is certainly doing their job, trying to get the word out, and that's a hard thing to do for an independent film, especially, an Australian independent film, to get this kind of buzz going in the States. But they've got a fun movie, and I think audiences are going to really enjoy it.
I'm curious to know, when you were first approached about this, what made you decide to sign on? It's like, dinosaurs, Vietnam War. Interesting.
Yeah, you know what? To me, it was when I first got the offer, they sent through the script, but they also had a pitch deck with the, information on the project and the idea and of course, the people involved. And so I had an idea of what it was about by the time I got to the script, right? But when I read it, and I read the kind of heart and soul and the seriousness of the military aspect.
Yes.
And and that's one thing that Luke said, the director Luke said, he's like, if we can ground the military aspect and the war aspect of it. I mean, we're also, portraying a real war, not a fictional one.
Right.
And his family and his, had his one of his parents was in the Australian Army for most of their career. And so there is an importance to it for them to get it right as well.
Right.
And, so that really, I think, grounded the show and grounded the script so that when the dinosaurs do appear, which is fairly early on, there's not like one or two shots of dinosaurs. Like they're all over this thing. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more, I hate to say believable, but you know what I mean? It's a little bit more like, okay, well, this is, and that's what I saw in the script. I just found it a really fun mashup of genres and just a good summer film in terms of like, great to see on the big screen. I'm so glad it got a theatrical release because that's the type of movie you want to go see in the big screen, right?
I think for me, what sets this apart, and you mentioned the war aspect of it, is the maturity of this film compared to the other films, they're going to be talking about comparing it to. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And we deal with addiction, we deal with suicide, we deal with uh, just the loss of hope. Sorry, Fiona's really wanting to be involved. Um, the loss of hope, and camaraderie, and the team, the camaraderie of the team, and the so it does have. Sorry, Fiona made me completely lose my train of thought there. Ask the question
Well, I was
again.
just saying that compared to, the other films this is going to be compared to, there's a maturity to this, a more of a mature feel to this film.
Yes, thank you. I mean, it is, I think it is R-rated.
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. And it does have a maturity. And again, that's like I was saying before I got disrupted by Fiona. We do cover some heavier topics in it, mostly due to the fact that this is a recon team that has seen a lot. The opening sequence of the film is them going into extract some of their some POWs. And they don't just then forget about it and go on to like, oh, it's dinosaurs. They keep that through line. They keep the characters, there's characters going through issues and going through trauma. And even my character who isn't military, my character has come from some extreme trauma and is isolated, and she is self-medicating because she feels lost, and she feels survivor's guilt, and she feels hopeless. So we do deal with some heavy, subject matter, and then the dinosaurs come around, and you're still dealing with that all the way through, but there's also the shoot 'em up fun action creature aspect, and that's why I just thought it was a really fun mashup of genres, and grounded in reality. There just happens to be dinosaurs there.
The director, Luke, is his last name Spark? I'm going to say that correctly.
Yes, yes, it is.
He wore a lot of hats in his film: director, producer, special effects, production designer. Can you talk a little bit about working with him on this entire project?
Luke is he's an incredible talent. He literally is. He wrote it, directed, like you said, he's editing,
Yep.
he's in on the visual effects. His wife is a producer. His in-laws are the producers. They have financiers, but they're also self-financing. His parent, Tracy, uh, is was in the military and is now costume designing. So she was the lead costume designer on the film. His brother is the costume on-set costume. It's like you're in a family affair, and he's done a lot of films and indie films, and he uses a lot of the same crew. So you're walking into a real family environment and a lot of dedication, which was really impressive to see. They have a lot riding on it, you
Yeah.
know. But he really is. It was interesting to see him work because he knew what he wanted. He had, I'm sure he had shot lists and things like that. I didn't necessarily see them, but by the time we got there, and we got there right before filming, so it wasn't, we had a table read. That was about it. And we did cost fitting and table read. We weren't there down there rehearsing for weeks or anything like that. Um, and he just it's I don't know if he ever sleeps. He and he's I think the biggest thing is he is such a fan of this type of film and this genre that he knew exactly what he wanted.
Mhm.
And but he was also collaborative and open to us putting in our um our 2 cents, and letting us build our characters. And, Ryan Quanten being the lead of it, he came in with his idea. He was very dedicated and very professional. The whole team was wonderful. Um, but, so Luke was open to collaboration and open to hearing our opinion. Um, there was once or twice that we came to argument about it, as in most of the time you do in a film. And to his credit, there was 2 times in particular that I'm thinking about that he didn't want to relent, but he did. And he has the character and to say afterwards, yep, you were right. And I think that's a sign of a good director, and he's still, sometimes we acquiesced to, most of the time we acquiesced or agreed completely with his vision. And then there was 1 or 2 times where I was like, I really think we should do it here in the set. I mean, not big, I'm not taking big arguments, but
Right,
like
right, right.
debating over where you're doing it. And there was one in particular, I was like, I really don't feel like this is a conversation to have in the middle of the group, or on the Vista, this is a private conversation. And we ultimately shot it that way. And he said afterwards, he's like, yeah, you guys were right. Um, but overall, I think we're going to see a lot of really good things out of him, not he's young yet. He's got a long career ahead of him, and I think this is just the start.
I love the tagline for this film is like, this ain't no walk in the park. Obviously, this film is going to be compared to the other films.
Yes.
Do you think this tagline kind of plays on that fact of the comparison that's going to happen?
It absolutely does. And I have to say, I've known you long enough to know that, so I will say this. I didn't I did not get it to begin with. And we were down at Comic-Con last weekend. I thought it was a good tagline. Um, and we were at dinner the first night at Comic-Con before we started our press day. And that came up, and I was like, yeah, it's a really good tagline. And they're like, well, they basically hinted at what it was meant, or said what it was meant. And I was like, oh, I remember going, oh my God, that's brilliant. Now I feel really stupid that I did not pick up on that myself. But yeah, they did that on purpose. They came up with that good tagline, and I think it's pretty brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that is sweet right there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about going to see this film and maybe saying to themselves, oh, this is just another Jurassic Park ripoff or something like that? What would you say to that viewer?
It's definitely not a Jurassic Park ripoff. It is its own thing for sure. I mean, the only thing in common with those movies is the fact that there's dinosaurs.
Right.
It really is a war film that has dinosaurs in it. And again, I'm not going to give away the reason why there's dinosaurs in it, but it is explained in the movie.
Good.
Um, I haven't seen all the Jurassic Park movies, so I can't really say from experience what is in those films. But I think those are, from what I understand, they're more family films. Um, am I correct on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is definitely R-rated. I think people are going to be really happy with it. Um, when I did ADR, and when I saw, I haven't seen the fully finished cut yet, but I saw, 80%. I was just completely blown away by it. To be completely honest, I wasn't expecting much, because it was a, not a big budget Australian film, indie. And I was impressed when I got there with the quality of the costumes and the sets and everything, and then the team that had been put together. Um, And then again, when I saw it, but it all hedges on the CGI, right? After that, like you can film it and it looks great. The cinematography was great. Our locations were great. Actually being out in the jungle, was all that, everything worked well. We worked our butts off. And I'm sure there's some shots that they wanted to get and didn't get or whatever. I mean, as is indie filmmaking. But then I saw the CGI, the visual effects, and I was just blown away. So I think it's one of those that just came together really good. And the production team and Luke and his team really have worked their tails off to get this where it is. I'm really impressed by them.
One of the big selling points for me, obviously, was dinosaurs, and then I found out you were going to be in it, which was awesome. But then Jeremy Piven and Ryan are in this film also, and I'm a huge fan of Ryan. I think he's so underrated. Can you talk about? And look like in the trailer, like you and Ryan had some particularly tense scenes together. Can you talk about working with him on set?
Yeah, and most of my scenes with Ryan aren't even in the trailer. There's a couple hinted at them in the last trailer, but Ryan was phenomenal. I completely agree, underrated. He came in and he comes in as the leader, right? The leader of the Vulture Squad. And he had that energy and that vibe, and he knew it was important to bring that out in the entire production, not just between action and cut. And he really took on kind of a leader role for the Vulture Squad. And they have my character comes into it maybe about a quarter of the way through. You don't meet me until because I'm isolated out in the jungle. So until they get there and they're there for a while, then they meet me. So once I meet the squad, then I'm in with them the rest of the film, and just being part of it. I was really impressed with his leadership, and his take on the character. Um, the whole team. There's a bunch of Australian actors that were just fantastic, and then Nick Wexler, who I knew, and he's in the film as well. And I didn't have much to do with Jeremy. He's in. I met him on one day of filming, but he's in the beginning of the film because he's the commander that sends
Right.
the recon team at the Vulture Squad out. Um, so I didn't really have much to do with him in terms of filming. I'm in one tiny, tiny, tiny scene with him. Um, so he was there in the very beginning, and then he wasn't there for the rest of the filming. So I can really only speak to the rest of the group that was there. But we really, we hung out all the time in between when we weren't filming, and we're still on a WhatsApp chain that we're all still like talking about birthdays and this and that and just checking in with each other. And we finished filming over a year ago, so a year like 15 months ago or something. And that doesn't happen all the time,
Yeah.
it really was an experience where everybody was just in there together and out to make a really good product.
Why do you think moviegoers, even including myself, why do you think we have such a fascination with dinosaurs? As soon as I hear dinosaur, I'm like, I'm there. I don't care what it's about, I'm
Well,
there.
honestly, it was my experience in San Diego at Comic-Con just this last weekend where it became apparent to me how people are really into dinosaurs.
Yep.
I mean, sure, I know about a couple of dinosaurs, whatever, but my own, I think they're cool. No, I mean, cool. I would like to know more about them, and I mean, I could research more. But people have done their research on dinosaurs, and
Yep.
some of the comments in terms of like, ooh, there's feathers, or they knew all the different types of dinosaurs, as does Luke. So Luke is a fan of this genre and of this type of thing. So I think that's why he put so much into getting this right. Um, for the fans of dinosaurs that really just, even if you're not a huge dinosaur fan, um, I think you're gonna enjoy it. But for those that are, I think they're going to see the dedication that Luke and the team put into making it right and making it as good as they can because he cares so much about it. So I don't know why people have this massive fascination with it. Um, but hopefully they show up and watch the film because I think they're gonna enjoy it.
One of my final questions for you: how was the panel? How was the Comic Con panel?
The Comic-Con panel was great. We didn't really know what to expect. We're like this small indie film that, we're gonna sell out. We were like, oh, is there gonna be five people in the audience? But we were in ballroom 20, like a really big hall, and it was full.
Hmm.
We were just so you could see Luke visibly like
Yeah.
he
Yes.
was so nervous backstage, and we got out there, and they just had like wonderful, intricate questions, really intelligent questions, um, and Luke just became in his element. But yeah, it was good. It seems to be a genuine buzz and genuine excitement about the film, which was nice to see. It was really nice to see.
I try to tell you that there's a huge, like, I've been watching, like, for the last couple of days, fans reacting to just the trailer. There's videos of fans just reacting to the trailer, which is pretty awesome.
I know.
And then finally, what would you like fans to take away from this? Just go in, have a great time, and enjoy the dinosaurs and enjoy the story, and just realize that it is a serious part to the story.
Yeah, I think go in expecting to have a fun time. Like that's what summer movies are for. That's what action films. That's what, and go in, see it in the theater, um, and just get your popcorn ready. You're gonna have a fun ride, but don't be surprised if you also um, have some moments of like where it gets you. Um, And yeah, so go and expecting a fun ride and be happy when you get a little bit extra out of it.